Today marks my third year on YouTube, and I gotta say, where did all the time go? So, first off, I just want to quickly admit that yes, I did this video mainly to get views, alright? I'm not going to hide that fact, but also, after 3 years, I kinda experienced a lot of things on YouTube as well. You may have seen a bunch of videos like this ones floating around on YouTube, claiming how YouTube changed their life. These videos are very well done, I must say, and I am by no means trying to criticize them or make fun of them or anything like that. But I do have to say, one of the reasons these videos have very similar titles is because the title gets them views and they are leveraging on it. So here I am, doing the same thing to get views. That is the wonders of YouTube. This probably is not going to be as effective as it is no longer trending, but hey, it's my third year here, so whatever. But the biggest question is, did YouTube actually change my life? My honest answer, yes, in some way. But the change is a tiny one, not something massive that turns my life around or anything like that. That's my honest answer. I don't want to exaggerate or be super dramatic about this. I have watched 3 channels that blew up after they shared how their life changed with 500 subscribers. Now, I don't want to share the same thing they did. I do agree with them, but I don't want to repeat myself, so this is a quick summary of what's changed with these 3 channels. First is about sharing content for yourself versus sharing for others. Quite a common thing when you first start a channel. You're always told to create what you like, but it is not going to gain traction if people have no interest in it. So you have to create for your audience. However, finding that balance between you and them is important, but difficult. Second, growth. Obviously, the more you create, the more you grow as a person, the more you grow your skill sets. Third, just start. Don't overthink. If you want to start a channel, just do it. Those are the 3 key points I got out of those 3 channels. Of course, the video itself is pretty long. The rest of the video is used to expand those 3 key points by talking about how to start a channel, telling life story journeys, and a bit of self-reflection. So that's what I got, and that's not what I want to talk about. I think you have heard enough of that already. What I want to share with you is what happens outside of YouTube, how it makes me see things differently, and how I get exposed to a lot of crap. Now, I don't have any fancy footage to share or b-rolls. It is just me talking here, okay? So sorry if I bore you. Okay, how YouTube changed my life. The very first one is I elevated my career thanks to YouTube. That means I got a higher paying job and I got into management roles. Now you may be thinking, why would a software engineer walk into management roles? Well, for one, it pays a lot more, and 2, did you see how AI is slowly taking over coding? But that's just me. How YouTube changed that for me is that I improved a lot in my communication skills thanks to me constantly creating videos, constantly improving my delivery for my viewers, and constantly interacting in the comments. Let's face it, if you want to get into the higher paying roles, you need to learn to communicate well and manage well. YouTube actually gave me the confidence in speaking, and I gained the ability to present my information in a coherent way with a flow. And because of that, I naturally changed the way I speak with not just my viewers, but also with those around me as well. And of course, I present the same confidence in interviews as well, and employers actually like that a lot. It doesn't matter if you can't answer some of the questions in the interview, but you need to be confident, you need to be quick-witted, and you can get that out of YouTube. So I got a higher paying job that I love, busier for sure, so less time to create content on YouTube. But yeah, this is thanks to YouTube. Now, the second thing YouTube changed for me is my perspectives on people. This may sound really weird, but from the interactions I have on YouTube, I began to see people differently, almost as if I am able to categorize them. The first group of people are those who want to achieve something. They need help, they look for it, they listen, and they execute. The second group of people are just there to have a nice time, a nice chat, but there's no action to be taken. The third group of people are the ones who kind of watches your video, but the comments they leave is more about themselves and has got nothing to do with content. Basically just ranting, I guess. The fourth group of people are the silent ones. They don't say anything, they don't interact, but they watch all your videos. They are secretly your biggest fan. Or maybe they are genuinely not interested. And once I started seeing people that way on YouTube, I started seeing the same thing with those people around me as well, which is good because each of these groups are dealt with in a different way. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that you learn to manage and interact with different kinds of people effectively, not just on YouTube, but also with those around us, and it is so important to communicate well as a human being. Anyways, this kind of leads me to my third point, which is that a majority of YouTube's audience are very nice people. When I first started on YouTube, one of my main concerns was that I might get trolled. I might get insulted for my accents and people might look at me differently. But that is never the case, I promise you that. If anything, it made me realize how many kind people there are out there, and this world is more beautiful than I thought. Uploading videos to YouTube can be daunting, especially when you are putting your face out there, you are voicing your opinion, and you may get some backlash. But most of the time, the ones who do leave you a comment are very supportive and they give you the confidence to upload your next video. Having said that, you do occasionally get some nasty ones. You can't have all the goodness and not have any bad ones after all. The bad ones can be really bad and sometimes intolerable, but they kinda share similar traits which can be handled. On YouTube, when you have a video that goes viral, you see all kinds of people commenting on really strange stuff. The most common one is probably the know-hows. They are the ones who just love to offer you advice even if you did not ask for it. Just off the top of my head, the ones I can think of are those who say my thumbnail is boring, that my video style needs to be elevated, I need to change my lights, change my clothes. I mean, I appreciate the advice, but it is more of a preference thing. What they suggest may apply to them, but may not apply to my general audience. And the one who understands my audience best is me. Just so you know, I did take some of that into account, like completely changing my thumbnail. But hey, that didn't increase my views, and the person who gave me that advice is nowhere to be seen. So the other group I encountered are those who ask me for advice and then proceed to tell me how their method is better. Oh, and there's one more. The jealous ones who can't be happy for me and chose to leave a comment rather than walk away. I am having a blast talking about this, by the way, if you can't tell. So YouTube exposed me to all kinds of people, and after constantly dealing with these groups of people, I learned to manage them effectively, filter what they say, and not take things into heart. Because if you think about it, aren't we all surrounded by people like this too? I know I am. I have friends who are secretly trying to compare my life with theirs, my successes, my happiness, and they show no interest in my YouTube journey. At least not now. I'm pretty sure they'll start approaching me when it gets big. And then there are those around me who think they know everything. I remember being asked about property investment and suburbs to invest in, but after I share with him my experience, he disagrees and claims he is right. But I am the one with the big property investment portfolio, whereas he has none. So you know where I'm going with this? And I started seeing things that way because I have the same experience on YouTube. More often than not, a small channel would approach me and say how I need to change things up. I always listen to what my viewers say, but I also do my due diligence. I would check out the channel of the person who left me that comment, see their channel size, see their views, and then I decide whether to take in their opinion. Nothing against small channels, their opinion is just as valuable. But I also need some proof and validation to make it believable. Anyways, those are the two things that changed for me after being on YouTube for 3 years. Of course, there are things like personal growth and new skills, but you don't want to hear that. YouTube made me more confident with my speaking and taught me to deal with people, learn to filter out what's not relevant, and move on fast. It is definitely not life-changing, for me at least. It is not like I'm going full-time on YouTube, But I do believe learning to speak with confidence and learning to treasure those who are truly valuable around you is one of the most important things we can do for ourselves. And of course, probably the most important lesson of all is to value yourself as well. You are the most important person in your life, so if you are not happy about something, speak up or ignore it. Don't let it affect you and just love yourself.